It's not that simple. Everybody thinks, oh yeah, well, 9 categories. I'm going to aim for all 9 categories. Well, first, let me start off with that. You cannot aim for all 9 categories. If you try to, you will lose every week by a little bit in each category, and that will literally make you probably the worst team in your league. All right. Secondly, I want to mention turnovers. Okay. Focusing on turnovers is one of the dumbest things you could possibly do, because trying to predict how many turnovers a player is going to get a game is nearly impossible. Okay? Nearly impossible. Yes, if it's going to be a player like, I don't know, Luka Doncic or a Kevin Durant, or let's say, whatever the case be, Giannis, Jokic. Yes, the best players in the game, the first options on the team, they will obviously be putting up more turnovers than the rest of the players in the league, because they are the first option and they will be having the ball in their hands more often than the rest. That's just common sense. Okay, but what are you going to do? Not draft in the first round? Not draft in the second round? That's silly, that's retarded, and that's just going to confuse you. So let's take out the turnovers and let's forget about them completely for now, and let's just worry about the 8 categories, like I said. Field goal percentage, free throw percentage, three-pointers made, points made, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. Okay, now I have 2 basic strategies when it comes down to drafting in category leagues, and I've used these strategies several times, and I got to tell you, it worked well for me. All right, and it's all in all my years playing, and I want to share that with you today. First strategy, the one that I usually go with, is going big. All right, what I mean by that is locking down the 4 big man categories. That's field goal percentage, rebounds, blocks, and points. All right? When you are drafting big, you are guaranteed to have those 4, to get those 4 categories. Well, at least those 3 categories: field goal percentage, rebounds, and blocks. The points you will accumulate after you draft some guards, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. But me, I personally like drafting centers. Centers usually give me the base of where I need to start and what I need to build around. Okay? So, in the first round, let's say if you get the chance of drafting Jokic or drafting Karl Anthony Towns or Embiid, I'll probably go with it. No lie. Giannis, also big man stats, okay? And he will give you those points. So, again, all those type of players in the first round, when you draft them, those are the players you are going to be building your team around. Those are the players that are going to indicate to you which way you should be going. The 2 different ways, I just explained the first one, like I said, going for rebounds, blocks, field goal percentage, and points. Secondly, okay, all right, there's a second strategy to it. If you're going the guard way, if you're going to play the guard way and you want to go for free throw percentage, points, 3-pointers, steals, and assists, that's 5 categories right there. And most guards will give you those 5 categories. All right, so yeah, a little bit easier to draft that way. Won't lie, because maybe you'll have to aim at building up on those 5 categories a little bit better, you know, at the end of the draft, or adding in a 6th category, like maybe blocks or maybe rebounds. You know what I mean? You might not know. You'll see what happens in your draft. All right. But me personally, I like going with big men. Me, I aim, like I said, for field goal percentage, points, rebounds, steals, and blocks. All right. And 3-pointers, of course. Okay. And the reason why I say 3-pointers at the end, because let me tell you something. Worry about everything else, but 3-pointers are very easy to get on the waiver wire. Okay. Most players on the waiver wire will provide you 3-pointers that you need to win your week. Okay. It's really not that difficult. Okay. At the end of the draft, to draft a couple players that will just give you the 3-pointers that you need. All right. So that's how I draft. So for example, if let's say you get first or second pick, first pick will probably end up being Jokic, but second, you know what I mean? If you want to go the route that I would be going for, I would draft somebody like Steph Curry, locking up that 3-point category right away. Because at the end, it's not like Steph Curry is going to be my only guard that I'm drafting. Then I'm also going to be drafting other guards. But in the second, third, and fourth round, I'm probably, well, more like the second and third round, I'm probably going to go after some serious bigs. For example, Rudy Gobert. I'm going to definitely be going after him if I can. All right, this year I see him doing amazing things. Let's see, Sabonis, Bam Adebayo. I mean, I could keep going, but you get the point. You get the gist. All right, and with that alone, you'll be able to lock up in a matter of 4 rounds. You already got yourself 3-pointers, you got yourself field goal percentage, you got yourself points, you got yourself rebounds, you got yourself steals, well, a couple of steals, and you have yourself blocks. That's 6 categories out of 9, and that's what you usually want to aim for. You usually want to aim for 5 to 6 categories. You don't want to go to that 7 and 8, because if you do that, again, I'm telling you, you are going to fall short on 1 or 2 different categories, and maybe even all of them, and you're going to start losing every single week. And that's the idea behind it all right? I hope I explained it well to you, but if you guys have any questions about category leagues and how you should properly draft, I will be holding a mock draft one of these upcoming weeks for everybody to understand how I personally draft. And if you like the way I draft, you could absolutely use that strategy. If not, you could use another strategy. It's absolutely up to you, okay? I just wanted to keep my promise to you and explain exactly what it was, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. Moving on. Let's talk about my man Steph Curry, okay? The reason why I want to talk about him is because there's so much, it's not to say controversy, but to say a lot of conversations going around about him being in the GOAT conversation, the greatest to ever do it. You know what I mean? So, is he one of the greatest to ever do it? Well, let's get down to it. He was drafted in 2009, so he's been in the league for what, 13 years now? All right? In the matter of 13 years, he has four championship rings, all right? So he's a four-time how's it called NBA champion. He has one-time NBA Finals MVP award. He has two-time MVP award for the season, all right? He's an 8-time NBA All-Star. And he has an NBA All-Star MVP. He's the best shooter of all time. And if anybody wants to argue with me about that, please comment. I have no problem with discussing this with you, because there's just no way you can make an argument for anybody else when it comes down to shooting. When it comes down to shooting, Curry is the best to ever do it. It's just there's no arguing that, okay? His three-point record is going to be held for years to come. There's nobody's going to break that record for years to come. Not to mention, he probably, in my opinion, still has a good 4-6 years in him to play. All right? So, what do you think? He's just going to drop down his three-pointers every single year? No. My man is going to keep getting better and better when at three-point percentage, at his three-point shots, and it's just going to get, his record is just going to get bigger and bigger and higher, and it's going to be just that much harder to get up there. To say that he's the best point guard of all time, in my opinion, I'll say he's definitely up there. You know what I mean? He has the prowess he is a true point guard, okay? He is amazing at handling the ball. I would say he probably right behind Kyrie Irving being at number 1. Yes, Kyrie is the best ball handler in the league right now. There's no arguments about that. Maybe you haven't seen him play lately, whatever the case you could say about him, but the guy knows what he's doing with the ball, and he absolutely knows how to space the floor and do what he has to do. All right. So the other day somebody mentioned to me how Tony Parker could be that, on the same level as Steph Curry. Now, look, I'm not trying to say anything bad about Tony Parker. Tony Parker, I could say, is up there and definitely one of the best point guards of all time, but Tony Parker did not lead the Spurs. Tim Duncan did. Okay? It's very, very simple as that. All right? Tony Parker is not an 8-time All-Star. And Tony Parker got those four championships in the matter of 19, 20 years. He got drafted in 2001 and retired in 2019. So what is that, 19 years? In 19 years, he did all that, which is very, very impressive. Very impressive. Okay? But Curry's not done yet. To me personally, I think he's going to get his 5th ring. Maybe not this year, maybe not next, but he's definitely going to get that 5th ring. I personally think so, okay? The way that team is set up, the way that they play, they have been playing small ball for years, and that has not put them at a disadvantage. They are amazing. Steph Curry is the leader of that team. Tony Parker never was the leader of the Spurs, so we cannot really compare those two players. Not to mention they have two totally different game strategies, and the way they play is two totally different things. Curry dominates, okay? Tony Parker was more of a facilitator. Understand? He spaced the floor very well, but Curry is just, he's a beast. Like I honestly don't even know what else to say about the guy. He is so amazing. Have you ever seen him during his pre-game workouts, the guy literally goes back and forth from the beginning, from the front of the basket to the free throw line, to the three-point line, to half court and back until he makes every single shot. Okay? That's absolutely insane. And he actually does it. I've seen it. It's absolutely incredible. Find me a player that could do that. Literally, find me a player that could do that. Other than him, I think Dame Lillard is up there, one of the best shooters of all time, because Dame Lillard is an amazing shooter, always will be. But Dame has not accomplished nowhere near as half as Curry has, and Dame is a lot older. You know what I mean? So, again, is Curry in the GOAT discussion? Absolutely. And he will be in the GOAT discussion for a very long time. Now, let's also not forget that just today, he was offered a $1 billion lifetime subsidiary deal with Under Armour. Okay? The only other two players that got lifetime contracts, just like Curry, and who, by the way, didn't get lifetime contracts at $1 billion. We're talking about LeBron James with Nike at $725 million lifetime contract. And we're, of course, talking about Michael Jordan with Nike as well. We don't know exactly how much he accumulated over the years, but I'm sure it's a lot, but he definitely did not start off with a $1 billion lifetime contract. For Under Armour to go after Curry like that, in that type of manner, so aggressively, should tell you already that the guy is praised by literally half of the NBA fans, if not more. I'll probably say a lot more. It's just, there's a lot of, conflict, people with their fans of different teams, whatever the case may be. Just because you're a fan of a different team, it doesn't mean you can't respect the game of another, right? And Curry's game is top notch, all right? If I get that number 1 or 2 pick, telling you right now, I'm drafting Curry, all right? If it's not Jokic, it's going to be Curry. So everybody has their own opinion. But again, in my opinion, Steph Curry is going to get that 5th ring. He will be in that discussion, and he will be the best shooter of all time for years to come. For years to come. Moving on. Last week, I spoke about how great and how absolutely insane the Eastern Conference is going to be because the teams are so stacked. We spoke about Cleveland. We spoke about 9 different teams, Celtics, Nets, Heat, so on and so forth, even the Toronto Raptors, all right? Today, I want to talk about several teams on the Western Conference and how they will dominate. And I'm telling you, the Western Conference, it is literally the wild, wild West, all right? We got the Lakers. We got the Clippers. We got the Pelicans, the Wolves, the Nuggets, the Mavs, Warriors, Grizzlies, and the Suns, okay? So let's just start off with the Lakers, all right? The Lakers have been doing everything in this offseason to try to get back to where they're supposed to be. Last year was a big hit for them, okay? Not making it and into the playoffs, and honestly, I'm sure it was a big hit for Magic. It was a big hit for King James, and a big hit for the team in general. What were they doing this offseason? Anthony Davis was going at it, conditioning, playing. I've seen him practicing, and he's in one of the best conditions of his NBA career right now, in my opinion. LeBron James, okay, tutoring and mentoring Juan Toscano Anderson, for example, okay. Patrick Beverley being acquired, who is an amazing veteran, who, by the way, has always made it to the playoffs. Let's just keep that in mind, okay. Patrick Beverley is a great vet who knows how to play in the playoffs, who knows how to win championships. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what LeBron James needed. All right. Now, there was a lot of controversy going on between Beverley and Westbrook. That's all BS. That's all bullshit. Okay, I was watching the other day. Westbrook and Beverley have a great relationship. Westbrook doesn't mind playing next to him, doesn't mind playing behind him. And in my personal opinion, that would be the smarter move because in history, it's been shown that LeBron James and Westbrook just don't play well together on the floor. So it makes perfectly good sense. Now, they have, not to mention, they have Carmelo, Wayne Ellington, they have Scottie Pippen Jr., who, by the way, great rookie, and honestly, I see him doing very, very, very well this year. Maybe not one of the best rookies, but he's going to get up there in the next 2 years, I can promise you that. And then they also picked up Damian Jones and Thomas Bryant at the center position next to Anthony Davis. So Anthony Davis will be finally getting the rest that he needs, okay, to make sure that he does not get injured, okay, to make sure that he gets the conditioning that he needs to make sure that he stays healthy for the important games to come, okay? So I think that the Lakers are going to make a quick comeback this year. They are going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to be competing, man. They really are going to be competing. Personally, I don't see LeBron James going down that easy this year. After last year, he has literally the look of a warrior, all right? And I cannot wait to see what LeBron James and Magic did with that team and how Anthony Davis and LeBron and Patrick Beverly and Carmelo and everyone will be playing together. And watch out for Juan Toscano Anderson. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be very impressive. Very impressive. All right? Moving on. Let's talk about the Clippers. All right, we were talking about LA, so let's talk about the LA Clippers. All right. Here's where I get a little bit, All right. We have Kawhi, who's going to be back. We got PG, who's obviously playing. And now we got John Wall. All right. 3 vets who were absolutely amazing in their prime. But, all right, John Wall had his whole entire issue going on, and I feel for him. And not discuss his issues and not to even shed light on it. That's none of my business, but I hope he's better. I'm assuming that he's better, and I'm glad that he's back in the game, right? But again, he's a vet who hasn't played for 2-3 years, all right? Kawhi hasn't played in a year. In the years before, he's always been injured or something of the sort, load management, whatever the case may be. In the year that him and PG actually got to play together, okay, they didn't play that well together either. All right. Not to mention, I think they only played in like 30 games during the whole entire season together, which is not a great consensus of how well they would be playing together. We need more. All right. And they're vets. So do you really see them all playing at the same time in every single game? Yeah, maybe you'll see John Wall and Kawhi playing the game, and while PG is getting rested, or Kawhi being rested while PG and John Wall playing, and then John Wall is going to be rested also. So there's going to be a lot of resting going on with that team, but they do have the potential. They do have the potential. I mean, they have an amazing team. Marcus Morris, Zubac, okay, they have Batum, Norman Powell, Robert Covington. I mean, they have the wings. They have the defensive prowess that they need. They have their superstars. So the question is, are the vets going to be able to keep up? That's the question. Okay? Now, are they going to fare well against teams like the Lakers, like the Warriors? We're going to have to see, because we've seen what Kawhi could do. We've seen what PG could do, and we've all seen what John Wall could do. They're amazing players, but are they going to be amazing this year? That's a big question, and I'm really excited to see, and I honestly want to see them do well. I want to see them be successful because I always had love for PG, always had love for Kawhi, and John Wall, honestly, used to be one of my favorite players in the game, okay? So I really, really hope that Wall, Kawhi, and PG stay healthy, that the team could progress. They have a great center with Zubac. Okay, it's been proven Zubac is a great defensive prowess. He knows how to defend the rim. Okay, he knows what he's doing. He's young. So with vets like that, a lot of things could happen. You never know. Plus, they got Amir Coffey. They got Robert Covington. We don't know if Robert Covington's going to be starting or Marcus Morris. So I just want to see them move on. Moving on. Let's talk about the Pelicans, all right? The Pelicans just got back Zion. All right, they acquired CJ McCollum last year. All right, they got Jose Alvarado, Devontae Graham. All right, they have Ingram, who's amazing. All right, and Jonas, who's also an absolute beast at the rim. All right, now, not to mention, they also have a crazy backcourt. They have Herb Jones, Larry Nance. They have Jackson Hayes. So what's going to happen? Is Devontae Graham going to start at point guard? Is Jose Alvarado going to start at point guard? Who knows? It really doesn't matter at this point. Point is, CJ McCollum is going to be playing. Zion is back. We are just hoping that Zion stays healthy. In the matter of the games that he played last year, the guy was putting up top 30, top 40 numbers, okay? His rookie season. That is absolutely insane, all right? And if the guy, I mean, like, I don't know if you guys been watching, but he's in great shape, all right? He's dunking, he's moving, he's doing everything he needs to do. He's working on his conditioning and his rehabilitation. It went well. So I want to see him stay healthy. I want to see the Pelicans do big things this year. You know what? They might even be better than the Clippers. I'll be honest with you. They are going to be a scary, scary freaking team this year. I really see it. All right. Again, I spoke about the Wolves before. I'll obviously mention them again. Russell and Edwards, either Kyle Anderson, Jaden McDaniels, or even Torian Prince at the 3, Cat at the 4, Rudy Gobert at the 5. That just sounds dangerous. That sounds dangerous. And the best part about that is Cat is finally... So I don't know if you guys noticed, okay? Before Ant joined the team, everything was on Cat. And remember what happened that year? He got injured, all right? And for a good amount of time, too. Now, Ant enters the picture next year. You see Cat doing bigger things, putting on bigger numbers, and actually playing in more games. Now, what do you think is going to happen with Rudy Gobert there? All right, what do you think? He's going to... No, that's it. Cat is finally going to be able to do the explosive things he's able to do in a minimum amount of time and not have so much responsibility on him, okay? He is the superstar. Yes, agreed, okay? But at the end of the day, not every superstar could hold a team down. That's just the fact of life, okay? Even Michael Jordan could hold the team down by himself. I mean, yeah, he did a couple years, but at the end of the day, he needed those role players around him. Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, whatever the case may be. Not every player, okay, can win rings by himself, okay? And most of the time, that's the case. All right? Moving on. Let's talk about the Nuggets. Now, my only worry with the Nuggets right now is Jamal Murray and MPJ, all right? Now, MPJ, he's been injured several times in, the 3 years that he's been an NBA player. Jamal Murray is coming back from a serious injury last year. Let's just hope that they could bring that game back, all right? Because Jokic really needs it. Jokic, I think, really deserves that ring. 2-time MVP in a row. The guy is amazing, and I think that he's, they're falling short just because of injuries, and that's really the case in my opinion. And it was a great move by them also by acquiring Bruce Brown. You guys don't notice these type of things, but Bruce Brown was an amazing category league player, especially for category leagues. He was an amazing player when he was playing on Brooklyn, okay? He's amazing in defense. He knows what he's doing, okay? And when Kevin Durant and Kyrie, they had the whole entire thing that was going on, they were out. He was putting on great numbers. Look it up, all right? He was doing great. And he is very, very dominative. He knows what he's doing. And it's a great acquirement. Honestly, I think he should be starting over Aaron Gordon, my personal opinion. But everybody's entitled, and that's why we're here. All right? Moving on to the Mavs. Now, look. Yes, the Mavs ended up in the Western Conference Finals last year against the Warriors, and they beat the Suns, and so on and so forth. Yeah, there's no shade that I'm going to throw on the Mavs, okay? But this whole entire report about Wood not starting is kind of already getting me mad, or like, whatever. I'm making me feel a little bit indifferent about it. And the thing is, they got Luka, they got Dinwiddie, they got Bullock, their wings, they got Hardaway, they got Davis Bertans, who is also a wing technically. He's a three-point specialist, okay? Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, Wood, McGee, Powell. So they have the defensive end, they have their wings, they have their role players, and they have their superstars. So I can see them doing very well this year. Not to mention their bench being run by Dinwiddie should be very impressive. I can't wait to see that happen. All right. Obviously, we don't need to speak about them. It's the Warriors. All right. The Warriors are going to do Warrior things. The Splash Brothers are back at it. Klay Thompson is going to be back at full force with Steph, and things are just going to be absolutely insane. They're going to be playing the same small ball lineup that they always have been, okay, with Wiggins, Green, and Looney, all right? And it just makes sense. James Wiseman has been playing. Looney earned that center spot, and I don't disagree with Steve Kerr. So, listen, being that their tallest person, Wiseman, on their team is 7 foot, so they're going to be playing small ball all year, and that's worked in their favor. That's worked in their favor, and people haven't noticed that. That's why Steve Kerr keeps doing it, and that's why they keep winning. Okay, they're amazing at what they do. Steve Kerr knows what he's doing with his team. He knows how to use his superstars, and he knows how to use his role players, and I respect the guy very much for what he's doing with his team. Unlike, again, Steve Nash, shout out. And I want to talk about the Grizzlies a little bit. The Grizzlies, yes, last year, they impressed all of us. And out of all of them, I got to say, Desmond Bane, okay, he is somebody that I did not expect to finish in the top 35, 40 positions rankings. It was mind-boggling to me, honestly. All right? He was amazing. He was averaging a little over 9 points a game the year before that, and then he jumped to 18 points this past year. So what do you think he's going to do this year? And that was next to John Morant, all right? So that didn't make much of a difference for him. So I can't wait to see them do well, and I can't wait to see them progress. And I mean, I don't think they're going to win they'll probably get to the quarterfinals, but the point is, I see them doing very well. I don't see them winning, but they are progressing. They're young. All right. Moving on to the Suns, obviously, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Crowder or Dario Saric at the 4, and we got DeAndre Ayton at the 5. Impressive team. They showed it last year, okay? And I really, really, really hope that they could make it to the finals this year, to the Western Conference Finals this year. I think they personally deserved it last year. They screwed the pooch on it, unfortunately losing 4-3 to the Mavs, but it is what it is. You know, you can't really describe those type of things. Lastly, I want to talk about a couple of sophomores coming into this year. All right, and I want to talk about the sophomores because sophomores, this is the year usually the sophomores really progress. This is when they really blow up and show their capacity and their ability to play the game. Okay, now he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't need a mention, obviously. But at the end of the day, let's talk about Cade Cunningham. He's absolutely ruthless. Okay, he had a couple of difficulties last year in the beginning of the season, but at the end of the day, he finished what with 17 points, 5.5 rebounds, 5.6 assists on 41.6% shooting in 62 great games. That is incredible for a rookie. Incredible. And I see him, okay, overseeding that average. I'm telling you that right now, okay? He has no competition. He's going to be doing great. He's going to be the focal point of the Detroit team. And honestly, he's going to be amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if people would draft him in the 3rd and 4th round. I want to talk about my favorite last year, Evan Mobley, who I believe should have gotten the Rookie of the Year award, but it was Scottie Barnes. Well, it was deserved, but again, everybody has their own opinion. Evan Mobley, or everyone, amazing player. 15 points, averaging 15 points, 8.3 rebounds, almost 3 assists, 1 to 2 blocks on over 50% shooting a game next to Jared Allen and Darius Garland. Do you understand how hard that is to do for a rookie? And he did that consistently throughout the whole entire year. That's the difference between him and most of these rookies. He didn't need that learning curve or whatever you want to call it, right? He was doing amazing from the get-go, and I drafted him last year, and I was completely happy with him, and it doesn't even matter. I know he's going to do well. Maybe with Donovan Mitchell there, maybe he loses a little bit points, maybe a little bit playing time, but that doesn't even matter, okay? He's going to be putting up almost double-doubles a game with a couple of blocks, great field goal percentage, and that's exactly what you expect from the guy. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Jared Allen became obsolete in a couple of years because of him. Okay. So now moving on to the rookie who got Rookie of the Year last season, Scottie Barnes. Okay, listen, the guy is very impressive. I really like his game. I even drafted him last year, okay, with the chance that he might not even do that well because he was playing, again, next to OG Anunoby. He was playing next to Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, who are amazing scorers and who dominate the ball. So did I really expect him to average 15 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and a couple of defensive stats on 49.2% shooting? No, I really didn't. That's why he got the Rookie of the Year award, all right? Because he stayed healthy throughout 74 games. He played 74 games. He didn't get injured, all right? That's very impressive for a rookie, and he played well throughout the whole entire season. And I see him doing the same exact thing this year, right? Would I be surprised if he jumps up a couple of rankings? Not at all. Not at all. I'll be totally honest with you. I'm a big fan of Scottie Barnes. I like his game. I like the way he plays. And on off season, the way that he's been training and the way I've been seeing everything going for him. And honestly, the Toronto Raptors are going to be really nice this year. I really do think so. And I said that in my last episode. Let's move on to Josh Giddey. Now, we're talking about a player that people didn't even know about, okay, when the season started last year. Like, people didn't even, I mean, yeah, people knew about him, but they were drafting him, what, like the 12th round, the 11th round, whatever the case may be. All right, the guy finished top 60. All right, he averaged almost a triple-double a game, and what I mean by that is 12.5 points, almost 8 rebounds, almost 7 assists, okay, on 41.9% shooting with 1 or 2 steals a game. That's really impressive. Okay, the guy has the potential of putting up triple doubles every single game this year if he plays just like that, right? And who's to doubt him? I mean, he did so well, right? And now that they're going to be tanking again because Chet Holmgren got a little bit, he got injured, and they don't have that prospect of obviously getting into the playoffs. So they'll probably be tanking, and Josh Giddey is going to be getting all the time that he wants. All right. So do I see him jumping up in those numbers? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. And I honestly, if I get the chance, I will be drafting him. But I'm telling you right now, everyone will have to reach for him. Everybody will have to reach for him. I say probably he's going to be gone by the 5th, if you're lucky, 6th round. All right. And now let's talk about Jalen Green, a guy who absolutely got me so mad last year. All right. I drafted him in my 20-man league, category league. And then he played, it was like the Anthony Edwards effect, okay? Anthony Edwards came in his first year, played horrible, and then at the second half of the season, he just blew up and started playing amazingly, and now he's like a top 40 player. It's absolutely insane. And I couldn't wait that long for Jalen Green last year. I needed to win some weeks, and Jalen Green was just putting up duds. And as soon as I drop him, by February, he's putting up 17 points a game. I mean, come on, it was just I was very upset, so I see him making a couple of strides this year as well, with all the rookies on the team, with Kevin Porter Jr., Jabari Smith Jr., with Alperen Şengün, okay? And honestly, again, Alperen Şengün also, wow, has he been amazing in the EuroLeague, and how he's just going to be amazing this year. He's going to be dominating, honestly. He's going to be putting up double-doubles as well. But back to Jalen Green. Now, my problem with Jalen Green is this. Is he just a shooter? Okay? Is he going to be putting up just points and threes for you? Because at the end of the day, that's all he did last year. All right? And do you really see him getting those steals? He had no defensive stats. All right? Maybe a steal or two. I mean, a assist or two a game. Yeah, maybe like 2 or 3 rebounds a game. So do we really weigh it in that? Like, now look, if he could up that game up and get his peripheral stats up, he's going to be amazing. All right. His shot is deadly. It's deadly. All right. Is he going to be like Anthony Edwards? I don't think so. I really don't. But I think he has the potential to get up there. He just needs to work on his game. He needs to work on his defense, and he needs to definitely work on his offense. Like, it's just, that's what I've done. All right. Now, I just want to say at the end of the day, it's very important for players like this. Rookies, they tend to mess up their first year entirely. But these specific rookies, they brought it back up in the middle of the year, and some of them even would blow it up from the get-go. So it's not unlikely for players like this to come into their sophomore year and to blow up. You know what I mean? Because I'm really high, for example. I was really high, for example, on Ant Edwards last year. I'm really high this year on Josh Giddey. I'm really high this year on Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, obviously, I mean, there's no need to mention it. But again, all right, very important to look at these things. Very important to see where these players are at and where you're going to be drafting them. It's very important that you also don't keep your expectations low, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, people will be drafting these players very early, and you are going to have to give up value to draft these players. That's a guaranteed fact, okay? And that's all for today. I really appreciate everyone watching. Once again, we love you from Notorious.